business, you first have to make people aware that you exist, right? Then you have to garner their interest. You have to get them interested in what you have to offer. Then you want to get them to make a decision, and then you want to get them to take an action. Okay. And it's important to have all those pieces. So some people miss awareness, they just go right into. Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Female Empowered Podcast. I'm your host, Krista Gurka, and I'm recording this podcast at night, which I don't normally do. But today, when I went to record it, lots of noise was happening here. Kids are home for summer. I think they were arguing about who's going to take the car where. There was landscapers here mowing the lawn. My dog was barking, freaking out. So anyways, I'm recording in the evening. And if you're watching me on Facebook, every once in a while, like the place that I sit, I have this frame that goes through pictures. It's one of those digital frames. So it does this little like slideshow. And every once in a while, I'll look back and see a picture. Like right now, there's a picture of my little puppy when he was little. He was so cute. Or sometimes I'll see a picture of like my boys, and it's just, memories. And then I digress and I get lost in thought because of my ADHD, which is not why you guys are here to listen. You're here to learn about business, and you're here not to listen to me spew on about personal things in a digital frame. But anyways, let me not digress. So today, what we're going to be talking about is I love the, again, this is like my ADHD brain. I actually just listened back to one of my podcasts the other day, and I was like, oh my God, if people are listening to this, they're going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? She's all over the place. But I am sorry to do that, but I actually love the actionable podcasts, the ones that give you real nitty gritty information, tips that you can take with you and implement tomorrow if you want. And today is one of those episodes. So what we are talking about today is 7 different advertising ideas for your brick and mortar business. Okay. So if you run any type of boutique healthcare, physical therapy practice, Pilates studio, yoga studio, CrossFit gym, spin studio, bar studio, and you're looking for ways to advertise, which is a form of marketing, this episode is something that you will really enjoy, because we are really going to talk about real life examples, what has worked for not only myself and my own 7-figure business, but colleagues of mine that run 7, 8-figure businesses, things that have worked for. So if you're like, oh, that's not me, this won't work for my $100,000 business, we're also going to talk about that. So that's why you're on the right podcast, because I'm going to give it to you straight, and I'm going to tell you what's going to work, what's not going to work, and how to decide what's going to work for your unique business. Okay. So if you are in business, hopefully by now, you know that promoting your business is a crucial part of growing. And at some point, if you're not growing, they say you're dying, but even to maintain, you have to continue to get the word out about your services, because there'll always be attrition, which is when people die off or churn, people stop coming to your business. And so we always have to be doing some form of advertising. All right. But if I'm being honest, even with myself and with you guys, like, we didn't open our studios to become marketing experts. If you are a marketing expert, although I do have one friend who is a marketing expert and own a studio, and she is coming to be a keynote speaker at the CEO Summit, which is going to happen in November in Miami. And if you're interested, you can head over to my website and get on the wait list, because it's only going to be open to the first 25 invitees. And so if you're on the wait list, you get first dip. So anyways, again, I'm off on a tangent. It's hard to figure out what to do when it comes to advertising and marketing when you're juggling 100 other responsibilities. You're in the right place, because I am going to give you some ins and outs, some tips and tricks that will help you. Okay. And I'm not going to give you a ton of tips and tricks that cost you a shit ton of money or are really time consuming. Because let's be honest, advertising can both be expensive and time consuming. Okay. So it's really important that you are going to do stuff that you know will have a good return on their investment, and will not consume and eat up a lot of your time because we don't have a ton of it, right? We don't have a ton of time. So I am all about making your life easier as the CEO of a boutique fitness business. All right. Because I'm all about making my life easier. So I do understand that your time is limited, your bandwidth is limited, your energetic capacity is limited. So I've put together this comprehensive list of 7 fitness ad ideas and examples, real life examples that can help you in your business today, tomorrow, and in the future. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is why it's important to advertise. Now, one of the things that I said is at some point, your organic growth strategy is going to run out. At some point, you're going to tap into all the friends and family that you can. And at some point, that pool of people is going to run out. All right. And so advertising, staying relevant, staying top of mind just pays off. That doesn't mean you have to be throwing a ton of money in ads and whatnot, but it's just crucial to highlight again, this word retrieval thing is hard for me, where you sit in the market, in your industry, in your niche, in your community. Okay. It's how we influence how people come to see us, come to pay us money, which is ultimately what we're in business to do, and also impact their lives, right? So, okay, one of the reasons that's really important, it's important for you to stay relevant, okay? The boutique fitness industry is growing tremendously, even though we had the shit kicked out of us in 2020, all right? And it's one of those things like, I don't know if you've heard the quote from Muhammad Ali that says, everyone has a plan to get punched in the face. That's basically what happened to the boutique fitness industry in 2020. We got punched in the face, a sucker punch that we didn't see coming at all. All right. And it left us unconscious for a little bit. But as we continue to come back from that, I've seen business models grow and flourish and pivot in a way that have made them even more successful than they were prior to 2020. Okay. So creating the right relevance and the right strategy to stand out from the competitive landscape is really important. It's also advertising will help you attract, retain, and convert your new leads. It will also help you attract and retain new staff members. Okay. Hiring is a big issue in our industry right now. So advertising is also really important to, again, what's the word I'm looking for? Fight seasonal slumps, or have not so much impact when seasonal slumps come, whether that's in the summer or in the winter for you, depending on where you're located. But you cannot wait until the slump happens to advertise, because by then it's too late. So by doing this in advance or having this slow, already run on autopilot strategy, you can plan ahead of time and overcome some of these seasonal slumps. All right. So one of the things we want to talk about, and I have talked about this, and it's part of our marketing training and our FitBiz Foundations program, there are different marketing channels that are available to us. Okay. Some people call this the marketing trifecta, and it's basically paid media, earned media, and owned media. Okay. So owned media is like your email list. You own that. Okay. You do not own Facebook and Instagram, because that platform could shut down tomorrow and you lose all your followers. All right. People get hacked all the time. That's earned media, is like your social media. Okay. Earned media is that know and trust factor, a blog, things of that nature. Okay. And then paid media is obviously when you pay ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, any type of paid advertising, that's paid. Okay. So if you think of it in a triangle, and if you can have a little bit of dibs and everything, ideal. Now, I don't suggest starting with paid ads, right? Because it's easier to start with the end in mind. And so one of the podcasts I'm going to be doing, an upcoming episode, talks about the customer journey and marketing strategies, and where the mistake a lot of business owners make is that they start with they don't start with a sale. They start with like, how do I get the customer in? But what we want to do is work in reverse. So if we can see how the sale happens, what works to get someone to buy and then back out of that is the most successful way to do it. And so instead of figuring out like, oh, I have to have a TikTok strategy and I have to have an Instagram strategy and I have to have a Facebook strategy and an email strategy, work with one thing, master that, and then start to dip your lines or toes in other marketing, advertising niches. All right. So here's what we're going to talk about now. So we're going to talk about some tips that are going to get you the most out of your advertising initiatives. Okay. Because what really happens is that people, and I did this forever, I just threw a bunch of spaghetti against the wall and I wanted to see what stuck. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I had no follow-up strategy and I had no strategy at all. So these are certain tips that I think are really helpful and I want to share them with you. So the first tip I have for you is storytelling. People love a story. I love a story. And so people resonate with stories. They can see themselves in the story. They can see their clients in the story. And so it's really easy to create a story that will help people feel like they are engaged. Okay. This is where good copywriters come in, right? It's great to have good content. That's why I love my copywriter, Latasha, with Uncanny Content, and her team over there. They are amazing. They basically help take my words and make them legible, audible, help me tell my story in a way that resonates with our buyers. Okay. And using one of the great things that they can do and that they can pull out of you is using different marketing models. Like one of the most common, I would say, marketing models is what we call AIDA, which is like AIDA. And what it stands for, it's an acronym. It stands for awareness. You first have to make people aware that you exist, right? Then you have to garner their interest. You have to get them interested in what you have to offer. Then you want to get them to make a decision, and then you want to get them to take an action. Okay. And it's important to have all those pieces. Some people miss awareness, they just go right into selling. If somebody doesn't know about you, how are they going to buy from you? Or they talk about awareness and you're gaining interest, but they forget the call to action and how they can pay you money. Okay. So I love going from awareness until direct action taking and really streaming that out for people. What is the very next step you want them to take? I love things like before and after. This is what they were like before. This is what they were like after getting our services. Stories are a great way for you to create content and get people to resonate, know, and trust you. Okay, so that's advertising tip number one. Advertising tip number two, start to provide value. I think so many people are like, if I give them what my tips and tricks are, why are they going to pay for it? And I got this from Shantae Cofield from the Maestro. She says it all the time. People will pay you to say it to them directly, or they'll pay you to say it again. I can't remember exactly what she says, but you can give it away, right? If they can transform their business, or they can take something you said on a podcast or post it on social media and go implement that and not need any more help, then fabulous. And by the way, lots of other that you can find anything on Google or YouTube now. All right. So provide value, ensure that what you're giving is providing value to them, very specific value. And if you're like, I don't know what is going to provide value, survey your customers, do some market research, do polls on Instagram. Okay. Send a market survey, a Survey Monkey or a Google form in your email. Ask people directly, what would you like to learn? What's really hard for you right now? And give them value. All right. Tip number three, social proof. So what we mean by social proof is collect reviews and testimonials from people that have had success working with you and integrate them into your efforts. That can be reviews on Google. Have a system, have an automated system to ask for reviews. That could be like if someone sends you a text or I just had a client send me an email that the work that we've done with her from January to June allowed her to run a race in Manhattan that she'd never thought she'd be able to do again because she was having all sorts of like knee and hip and ankle problems. And she sent me a picture of her at the finish line with a great email. Thank you so much. I never thought that I could accomplish this again, and et cetera, et cetera. And so like I asked her, hey, would you mind if I use this as a testimonial? Of course, she was like, yes. So those kind of social proof testimonials really play a significant role in building trust and attracting new customers. Why? Because someone's, yeah, I had that exact back pain. I want to go work with XYZ because they got those results for somebody else. And so leverage social proof. Tip number 4, have a clear call to action. Okay. Clear call to action. I see a lot of mistakes with this where people forget to tell people what to do. Okay. On Instagram now, you can always have a link and it just says, buy here, have them click on that link. Okay. In your Instagram page, there is a page that you can put links in your bio. So if you have a program or a discovery call or sign up here for the schedule, make it easily accessible to people. Okay. If you send out weekly emails, what is it that you want them to do? Book now. Learn more. Okay. On your website, what is it specifically that you want to do? And we want to have a really clear call to action. When people have too many things like do this, or you can do this, or you can do this, people get confused and then they end up taking no action. So be sure to keep it brief, focused, and very specific. Okay. So those are one of the things that I would recommend. So let's keep moving on. The other thing that I think is really helpful is to use user-generated content. So in other words, encourage your clients to share their progress and their experiences on social media. Ask them if you can use their reviews, their comments in an email. Ask them if you can put a testimonial banner on your website. Ask them if they'll write a Google review for you. There's all sorts of things you can do now you can actually go to your Google Analytics page. Okay. You can look, there is a link that says get more reviews, and you can copy and paste that link. You could have a QR code that sits at your front desk where they could scan it with their phone on their way out and write a review. You could send it in an email after their first session or after their discharge or after their last session. You could have a Google review campaign where you ask maybe all of your staff, your instructors, and say, whoever gets the most reviews in the next 60-day period gets a prize. Okay. That's great. And it also helps to have reviews of a lot of different people. And if you have more people on your team, don't let it just be about you, the owner. Make sure other practitioners, other instructors are getting reviews that they mention their name. Okay. So now we're going to go into very specific strategies that you can use in advertising. Okay, so those were tips that we consider using in your advertising, in your marketing, in your attraction kind of full strategy. Now I'm going to talk about very specific initiatives that you can use in your boutique fitness, healthcare, wellness business. Very real life examples. Okay. 1, you can use influencer marketing. Influencer is a big buzzword right now, right? You hear this on a daily basis. Hundreds of thousands of millions of people are trying to be influencers out there. And it's become, I think I read a stat somewhere that the influencer marketing industry is a 20 billion with a B dollar industry. 20 billion people with their phones marketing for other brands or products or whatever, or what have you. Okay. So before you start to worry about, I don't want an influencer, that's like big person and I don't have the price tag to pay that. I'm not talking about that kind of influencer marketing. I'm talking about nano influencers or marketing, micro influencers, which are usually people that have less than 10,000 followers and really align with your brand, your mission, your vision, and your target audience. Okay. So a good example, we have a client who happens to be a model. She has over 100,000 followers on Instagram. I think she has 250,000 followers. We asked her at one point, this was a long time ago, but we asked her if she would be interested in doing a campaign with us where she allowed us to use her on our feed, where we could promote her doing Pilates and then some of her runway shows, etc. And then she also promoted it on her feed, and we gave her a specific coupon code where she would promote on her feed and say, use my coupon code and get, I don't know, $20 off or $25 off your first session at Pilates in the Grove. And we gave her also a commission on that. So she eventually, little by little, got some of her sessions for free. Okay. We've done also other micro influencer campaigns where we had a very prominent blogger that was a client of ours when she was pregnant. And so we did something very similar. We asked if we could monitor and record and vlog, video blogging, her prenatal and postnatal Pilates training. And in turn, we did the same thing. We bartered. She could do X amount of sessions for free. And in return, she would post on her social media, which again gets our name, our image, our likeness in front of her audience, which is also our ideal audience. So anytime you can do go from one to many, that is a win. Okay. So think of nano influencers, right? Or micro influencers. Now, a second part of influencers, or if you have fabulous instructors, you have influencers in your studio already. They're amazing. A lot of them have social media following. So one of our instructors, Terry Siremore, is amazing. When she started working with us, she didn't even have a Facebook account, but now she has over, I think, 16,000 followers or something like that, all organically. And she has a ton of following, and she's always posting reels. She loves it. And she posts her schedule all the time. She's gotten to the point where other instructors or other people that are traveling in and visiting Miami will come to the studio because they've seen her on Instagram. And so you can use them. I would say start small, encourage your staff to post about themselves. They can put in their bio where they work and post them recording videos or any type of thing that will engage. Also, our clients love to be featured on Terry's feed or even on Pilates in the Grove. And so she even uses links like schedule with me now, and they can do that right in their social media profiles. One of the things that we actually do at Pilates in the Grove is we have an entire rubric that we use for our instructors and our practitioners that is how they are assessed several times throughout the year and how they can get to the next pay tier. And one of the little boxes is they get extra points for posting on social media. Now, they don't lose points if they don't, but they actually get extra points if they do. And there's a whole rubric in it. We teach this to our members in the inner circle. So it becomes very objective for how people get raises, and they know right from the get-go, this is what I need to get to the next pay tier. And it's very objective, and it's worked really well for us. Okay. Don't shy away from influencer marketing. There's lots of different avenues you can take. Start small, try it out, test it out. If you give away a couple free sessions for someone to post on their page and it doesn't really work out, you didn't lose that much. Okay. But be very specific in what your expectations are for whomever it is that you work with. All right. Another great, very real life experience, real life initiative or example of an advertising avenue is referral. What kind of referral program or reward program or incentive program can you use to incentivize current clients to bring new members? Okay. You can do things like bring a buddy. You can do something like Friend Friday, where the first Friday of every month, they can bring a friend for free. You can make your clients an influencer, right? If you have a brand ambassador, you can say, listen, we're so happy that you're loyal to Pilates in the Grove. Would you be interested in joining our ambassador program? And what they do is they're talking about it already. but they can start to maybe get some credit or something like that, where they start to earn free classes or a membership of whatnot for people that they refer. Okay. So they're usually your raving fans anyway. So they're already talking to you, but saying to them, hey, would you love to be a brand ambassador? That makes them feel special. You have great people and you want more people like that. So they're going to attract people that are similar to them. So win all the way around. Some referral programs that I know some studios run are things like clients receive a free class for every friend they bring who signs up for a membership or a longer term package. Sometimes we will give gift cards. So if we see people have referred X amount, we'll give them a gift card to Athleta or something like that because they're buying workout clothes. We've done gift cards to restaurants. So some sort of referral program. My advice is just make it very clear and easy to manage. Okay. So another type of, I'm going to come back to Facebook ads is something I want to talk about, but that's paid marketing. So I'm going to come back to that. So another one is, could you sponsor a local event? Maybe a 5K, maybe a CrossFit competition. Again, be in front of your like-minded audience. If you're a pelvic health practice, maybe you can sponsor a mom's meetup or a mom boot camp or something to that effect, where you can have your name on one of their shirts, or you can put something of yours in a goodie bag, or you can bring a table and do some stretching at a race, give out cards, anything to that effect, where you can have a booth, offer mini consultations or share information about your business, things like that. Again, you're giving back to the community. You can reach a broader audience while supporting your community, and you just get your name out there to other people. You legitimize yourself in the community, and then people start talking about it. You're on the t-shirt. It's just another touch point in the customer journey. Okay, so that's sponsorships. Collaborative workshops, like working and partnering with complementary businesses. Maybe you can partner with a nutritionist and do how nutrition affects fitness, right? I say this all the time. I work in fitness, but I was like, you can't exercise a bad diet, right? If you're eating McDonald's drive-through every day, I don't care how much Pilates or boot camp you do, you're not necessarily going to achieve your fitness goals. Maybe you are, but not necessarily. Okay. It allows you to tap into their audience, and it allows them to tap into your audience, right? So again, how can you go from one to many? All right. So challenges. Challenges are a great way to boost engagement, get new people in the door, or re-engage people that have stopped coming or stopped engaging with you. You could run some sort of fitness challenge. You could encourage your clientele to post about it on social media, whether it be Facebook, or you can post it in the studio itself, pictures, a leaderboard, take a picture of it, put it up on your website. Okay. Ask clients to share a testimonial. A video testimonial is even really great about them, about them going through the challenge. Okay. Spotlight their milestones and have them share it. If they've reached 500 classes, have them share a heartfelt message on social media about them completing their 500th class. Take a picture, post it in the studio, send it out on your newsletter. Okay. These are all things. Now, one, that leverages social proof. Okay. Two, it creates influence in the community and gets other people to know and trust you. Okay. And it is really free. All right. So that is a great way. Running a challenge is a great way and celebrating milestones is a really great way as well. Another big advertising initiative that I love, that we're about to launch right now too, is limited time offers. These can be an incredibly effective strategy when you're looking to boost sales or you need a cash infusion. So summer tends to be our slower months in Miami. A lot of people go away, they go back to New York or the Berkshires, Carolinas, et cetera, et cetera. And so one of the things that we do in the summer is we run a summer special for the month of July. So we're just about to launch this. Last year, we ran a summer special, I think, and we sold, I want to say it was like 65 packages, and I think they were $2.99 each. And it was like a special summer. I think we sold 10 for $2.99, and normally 10 is $3.60. And we sold over 60 of them. So we generated $25,000 in revenue during that sale. Okay, we put an expiration date on them, so they had to use them within 45 days, but we made $25,000 in a month that we needed a cash infusion. So we're about to launch that right now in July, and our goal is to sell 65. Excuse me. So this helps create a sense of urgency and exclusivity, because this is not offered all the time. This is like flash sales where you can say, I know a colleague of mine that has a studio in Manhattan, and she runs a flash sale, because usually in Manhattan, those last 2 weeks, last 2 weeks of August, beginning of September, are slow. So what they do is they do a flash sale, like unlimited classes for the next 2 weeks for $79 or something like that. Again, just to get people in the door, just to get a small cash infusion. Other examples, you could offer a discounted membership or free merch for your members that sign up within a specific time frame. So if you sign up in the next 24 hours, you get a free Pilates in the Grove shirt. All right. Or if you get yourself on the wait list, the first 10 people on the wait list will receive 25% off this new membership tier when we launch it in September. All right. So not only does it incentivize your clients to take action, but it incentivizes them to take action quickly, because this won't be around for very long. All right. And using compelling subject lines, if you're doing it on Instagram, email, or use links on Instagram or social media, it is really good. All right. So some of the other thing that I wanted to talk about, so I want to go back to paid marketing. Okay. Because it's a lot. Okay. And it can be a dumpster fire. But what I want to say about paid marketing is I've had a lot of success with paid marketing. I do not think paid marketing is dead. I think why people think their paid marketing doesn't work is they don't put all the pieces of the strategy together properly. All right. One of the things that's really helped Pilates in the Grove is to do awareness Facebook ads. Okay. So what do I mean by that? So we use Facebook's advertising platform basically to create targeted ads to a very specific demographic within a radius that will drive to our physical location. And we can target people based on their location, their age, their interests, and their fitness related abilities. So do they engage in other fitness and wellness brands, right? And then and usually in the ads, I'm not asking them to buy anything. I'm doing a quick hook, and I'm just getting it to be one touch point in their customer journey. So maybe they're seeing us on a shirt of a race that we sponsored. Then they happen to maybe drive by our location. Then they see it on a Facebook ad that they don't even realize is scrolling through their feed. So again, it's just bringing more awareness to Pilates in the Grove. And so they're like, oh my God, I'm going to try this. I've heard this now from my friend. I'm seeing it on Facebook. They say that somebody has to hear something like 7 times before they take action. So having a very specific targeted Facebook ad campaign where you target, I don't know, women between the age of 25 and 35 who are, one of their interests is baby sites. Like if you're a pelvic health person or you're working in prenatal, like you could very specifically target them. And then you want to create your messaging and your ad strategy around messaging that will resonate with them. Again, we go back to using social proof, getting reviews, understanding, creating value. Maybe it's like download this free ebook, right? Or check out this free video tutorial we have about breathing techniques to prepare for baby, or 5 things people don't tell you during your first trimester of pregnancy. Little things like that where you can give away things is just phenomenal. Okay. And then you can take those ads, and now those people are in your sphere of influence. They're maybe on your website, and whether they buy from you immediately or not, you can continue to nurture them to hopefully guide them into an eventual sale. All right. Last but not least, one of the things I want to say is we covered a lot of things. Now, by no means do I want you to go out and do all of these things. What I want you to do is go back, listen to this episode again, maybe listen to it slower, but also pause and take notes, write them all down, and then figure out, okay, which one of these can I do consistently over a period of time so that I can start to gain visibility and I can start to nurture people, bring awareness of my brand into their consciousness, and then continue to nurture them to eventually have a sale. Okay. This is a slow, except for paid ads, this is slow growth, but just being consistent with it over time is really helpful. Okay. Stick with something. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. Some advertising things don't take a lot of effort and can have a big impact if you are consistent with them. Okay. If you set them up properly, and if you continue to be consistent with them throughout the course of implementation. So when you learn something, when you see something that needs to be tweaked, tweak it, and then keep going, right? Test, assess, retest. So keep trying new things. Experiment with different types of advertising. If one doesn't work well, learn from it, move on to the next thing, try something else. But you got to give it time. You can't just be like, oh, I tried that. I ran an ad for 7 days and nothing happened. You got to give it some time. And then the more you know about ad strategy, the more you can figure out where was the kink in the chain? Was it the ad? Was it the messaging? Did I give them a clear call to action? Was my landing page clear? Did I tell them exactly what to do? Did I have a follow-up strategy? All right. So there's lots and lots of resources out there. If none of these suggestions sparked any interest to you or sparked any passion, but what I really encourage you to do is see what it is that really aligns with you, your mission, your vision, something that you feel you can do or delegate someone on your team to do, and try to implement even one of these tactics to be consistent for maybe July, August, September. Just try it. See what happens. Be consistent with it. Get everyone on your team involved in some way. And maybe ask your clients like something that would resonate with them. There's lots of ideas out there, but I really hope what you take away from this, excuse me, is that it is important to be putting your brand and name out there. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money, and it doesn't have to be this heavy lift. Right? Even deciding you want to run a summer promotion. Okay. By the time this airs, I think it's already going to be the end of July, but maybe you're like, hey, we're going to offer a back to school promotion. All right. Think it through, decide what you want. I'd love to hear what you guys come up with. And I'd love for you to share with me some of your ideas or ask me questions. You can always DM me over on Instagram. I'm at Krista Gurka over there. I love when people DM me their stories or take a picture of you listening to this podcast and tag me. It makes me feel good. All right. That I'm jabbering away and people are resonating with what I have to say. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope I wasn't too all over the place in all the different ideas. I have tons of ideas that are rattling off in my head. If you are interested in learning how these tactics or these advertising tips or marketing strategies, how we can strategize and implement them specifically for you and your business, I invite you to join one of our mentorship programs. We have our FitBiz Foundations program, which is open for enrollment year round for emerging female business owners that are looking to grow to their first 6 figures in business. And then we have our inner circle, which is those women that have surpassed $200,000 in revenue or close to $200,000 in revenue, and they're growing a team of 3 or more individuals, and they need to really streamline and implement processes in their business, learn how to lead, learn how to delegate, learn how to hold people accountable. The inner circle is open for enrollment again, middle of August to September, and that will be the last enrollment we do for 2023. If you're interested in learning more about those programs, go ahead and visit my website, kristagurka.com. Check out the Work With Me page, and you should get all your information over there. All right. And until next time, my friends, bye for now. Have a good one.